All right. Wow, the microphone seems actually really high. It's like straight up in my face there. All right, hello everyone, and now welcome to a game between Th000 versus Foggy taking place here on Terranistan. Over here on the top left-hand side of the map, we have Foggy spawning as the Red Night Elf. He will be going up against Th000, also known as Samdan, also known as Th000, also known as 3 Eggs. All of those guys, if you know, and if you have been watching on my channel, you know why I say the names that I do. If you haven't been watching my channel, I kindly ask that you hit subscribe, hit like, so, well, when WarCraft 3 Reforges out, you have access to, I believe, the currently only active American commentator. Not that other English commentators are bad, because they're actually really good. The Back to WarCraft guys, witty, also very good. There's actually a lot of really good English commentators out there. I don't know why I would ask you to solely watch me. I should never ever do that, as well. This is just a little bit of a hobby for me and something that I enjoy doing so much. Thank you to all the fans out there who follow me on Patreon, who follow me on Twitch, and who follow me on YouTube. It makes casting these games just that much more entertaining. Now, we are going to be looking at a Mountain King going up against the Keeper of the Grove. Now, Keeper of the Grove has recently received a bit of a nerf in the last patch, but I don't know if it's been applied to the NetEase servers or even the BattleNet servers at this point. I'm afraid to admit I haven't been keeping track of all of the WarCraft news that is out there. WarCraft 3 has been released for so long. I was following so much of the game for so long, and now that it's not really being followed up that much, or so much news is happening all of a sudden, it's making me a little bit confused trying to understand and keep track of everything that's happening. Anyways, Mountain King now making its way out. Most likely will be going into a Stormbolt, then a Thunderclap strategy. Gonna quickly go after that Rogue Wizard right there. That Rogue Wizard does get a Lightning Shield, but quickly gets taken down. Alright, we should be looking at a Forest Troll Shadow Priest. Mountain King should consider picking up that Mantle of Intelligence very quickly as well. Militia gonna go ahead and run back here, and in order to try and avoid some of that additional damage. Hey 42, how are you doing? Thank you for tuning in. Mountain King does sit at level 2, and now also with a Potion of Greater Mana is a very potent threat. Are we going to see a Thunderclap? That would actually be pretty interesting at this point. Mountain King already at level 2 picks up a second Mantle of Intelligence. That is absolutely huge, as the Mountain King normally has mana issues. Let's take a look at the other side. Foggy opened up with the Keeper of the Grove, now setting up a Tree of Life. Ancient of War absorbed much of that damage. I'm doing fine, thank you. Watching the only place to get human games these days. Yeah, I had to actually hunt and look for human games. I cast a lot of Night Elf vs Undead yesterday, and I thought to myself, I don't want to cast any more of those two particular races, and I still ended up, no, it was Orc and Undead yesterday. So I wanted to get some Night Elf games and some human games as well. A little bit of variety does go a long way, as we see a pickup of Potion of Invulnerability. Invulnerability, always very helpful, as the Keeper of the Grove and any hero in general pretty much has a giant bullseye on its chest or on its back, as we're now taking a look at the Footmen and Militia now making their way across here. Interesting choice to actually bring Militia to this fight all the way at the other side. Is this Ancient of War going to get taken down? Scout Tower now getting thrown up. What is going on? Is he going to actually try to build an expansion right next to his opponent's base? That would... that's what it looks like, and that would be extremely strange and odd. Stormbolt straight up onto Foggy's Night Elf Archer. Archer will quickly get taken down. 1 or 2 more shots. There it goes. Mountain King sits at level 2 still. Entangle onto the Forest Troll Shadow Priest. A quick Abolish Magic as it does get away. Thank you. All right, as the Mountain King now continuing to battle it out. All right, let's take a look. Stormbolt onto the Forest Troll Shadow Priest. It's going to get taken down, followed by a quick clap right there. More damage coming across, as Foggy also going to lose a Night Elf as well. Big aggressive play. A Scout Tower now being built down across over here. Is it going to perhaps get repaired? That is now the big question. Right, those Force of Nature is still causing lots of problem. That normal damage on medium armor does end up dealing a lot of damage, as you see the quick entangle, and all of a sudden, well, the units are in a bit of a run once more. Well, we thank you for it. Doesn't seem like the attempt at rebuffing human did anything. Only Th000 dabbles in human, and he's losing because of it. We'll see if that holds true. Humans did get the large end of the nerf stick. I thought that when I went from Reign of Chaos to the Frozen Throne with the number of anti-magic unit, the instant you remove the ability for rifle casters and you introduce magic damage, you introduce a basic attack that there are some units that are completely immune to. All of a sudden, it just feels wrong. Added in the fact that the strategy for human players to go for some sort of mech strategy using the workshop and riflemen and gunpowder as perhaps their identity, that actually fell a bit short as well. Mortar teams got severely nerfed. The fact that they are still targetable because they are biological units from Death Coil, Entangle, and things like that, as opposed to Demolishers, Ballistas, Glaive Throwers, and Meat Wagons, it really changes up the strategy. Alright, Staff of Teleportation, Mountain King gonna show up to the party, does have a potion of mana. What is he gonna do here? Is he gonna try and reveal Clarity Potion and Healing Salve? He could come across, there it goes, and now gets a Stormbolt straight up onto an archer and finishes it off. Still has a little bit of mana there, accidentally attacks a Kobold Taskmaster as the Mountain King now gets away. Back off to the north, Illusion Mountain King scouting out, does spot the Ancient of War, but more importantly, that Tree of Life, which will be entangling momentarily. Forest Troll Shadow Priest, it could use a bit of mana to try and clear out those forces of nature, but, or is it force of natures? I don't know, what do you plural in that? If it's a force of nature, do you, and there's multiple of them, is it forces of nature or force of natures? I don't know. I do know it's footmen instead of feetmen. I think there was actually like a question about that. Is it a footman? But then it is footmen or feetmen? Definitely footmen. You don't pluralize the feet. That would actually be rather unorthodox. All right, Forest Troll Shadow Priest comes in with the Abolish Magic, finishes off that unit there, as the Keeper of the Grove with a Pendant of Energy could still cause a lot of problems. Forest Troll Shadow Priest, double Abolish Magic all the way, could finish off those units. Keeper of the Grove could be in trouble. Mountain King, however, does have mana, and a Mountain King with mana is always very scary. All right, Mountain King's quick surround right there. Archer, will it be able to get away? There's a Thunderclap. Mountain King still has a potion of mana, could try and finish it off. There's a potion of greater mana being used, but that is going to end up costing a Scroll of Town Portal. Who is the human player? I don't know. If there was only a streaming banner on the top left-hand side of the map that actually explained who was playing in this matchup, we will never, ever know. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit more snarky today. Had a tough day at work, and I'm taking a little bit of a relaxer and breather, taking a relaxing drink right now, as we now see Footman going off of those kobolds right now. All right. Forest Troll Shadow Priest getting taken down. Forest Troll Berserker there. Meanwhile, the Tree of Life is entangled, getting Nature's Blessing up. Guard towers being constructed. Archmage does have, or place down a couple of ivory towers, but it may end up falling short, as the scout towers are nearly destroyed. Militia actually gonna be able to benefit from being able to get into their normal phase a little bit faster, but they're not repairing the scout towers. Not quite sure what's going on there. And it seems like an obvious case that you should be repairing right now. Meanwhile, over here, Goblin Alchemist coupled with the Keeper of the Grove, as the Mountain King being forced to retreat. Mountain King does sit at level 4. There are Forest Troll Shadow Priests in addition to priests as well to do all of that necessary healing. However, that Alchemist, even at level 1, is very immune to any sort of straight damage. Forest Troll Shadow, or excuse me, the Mountain King Stormbolt, it only does 200 points of damage at this point, as you see another acid bomb going across the Forest Troll Shadow Priest here. Archmage may try and get to level 2, or really wants to get to level 2 at this point. You see plenty of units that want a lot more mana. Mountain King using that potion of greater mana much earlier, as the Forest or excuse me, as the arcane towers are now up and operational. Though continuing this push now, Mountain King off over here, finishes off a Wisp, still sitting at level 4, Archmage sitting at level 1, close to level 2, Mountain King. Is it going to perhaps give, oh wow, the Mantles of Intelligence were actually sold, but now we are going into Mountain Giants. Foggy with Mountain Giants, and well, Mountain Giants in general did receive a major buff, making them much more powerful, but because they only cost 6 supply currently, I believe, on Battle.net, they are still easily massable. Right now, I believe the next patch has them go up to 7, as you now take a look at the Mountain King trying to finish off a handful of units. There they go. Arcane Towers are the natural, actual counter to all of the force of natures. The Arcane Tower with that additional summon damage causes problems. Thank you, luckiest player. I think the first time I've actually seen you talk. Thank you, luckiest player, for tuning in, as the Archmage now gets to level 2. If you didn't know, any sort of ancient does actually give a bit of experience, as the Archmage gets to level 2, giving level 1 Brilliance Aura across this army of Forest Troll Shadow Priests. However, the problem, Mountain Giants with their 1600 hit points, are they actually going to get taken down? Down goes the Alchemist. Alchemist in trouble. Mountain Giants now getting taunted though. Mad Frog, how are you doing as well? As the Forest Trolls, well, happy to deal out any damage that they possibly can. All of the other units are still running back. Forest Troll Berserker now making their way back over here, trying to finish off this Tree of Life. Let's get it over with so we can get some Reforged going. I have no control over that, and I'm still hoping, I don't know, if anyone from Blizzard ever watches my videos, please, I'd love to test out WarCraft 3 Reforged. If you ever do another press invite, I've been to your campus at least a half a dozen times now. I would definitely be down for another invite. I know where it is. It's probably like an 8-minute drive from my work. Anyways, Tree of Life will get taken down here. Wisp now making their way over to try and clear up and repair all of this, as the Mountain King gets in a big thunderclap, but it does not slow down any of those units. All right, Arcane Tower Workshop now getting trained up as well, but now you see Foggy getting up almost a critical mass of Mountain Giants. This is one of the reasons why Blizzard decided to increase the supply of mountain on each of those Mountain Giants. But then again, with only 3 Mountain Giants in play, you would still be in low upkeep. Let's take a look at this. Hardened Skin. No, a 4th Mountain Giant is being trained up, so he would in fact be at 51 supply. Mass Mountain Giant Army, 28 to 40. The only thing that really counters them well is Knights. As you now take a look, well, an illusion is part of the army as well. Let's get it. Yeah, as we were taking a look, 4 Mountain Giants all together right here. That Mountain Giant illusion does end up taking more damage, and naturally, because it is just an illusion, but because of that, sometimes you think to yourself, you know what, I'm just gonna try and pick off the low hit point Mountain Giant, only to see that you wasted your time attacking an illusion here. Town Hall now being built by Th000. I don't know if this is a proxy Town Hall or a Manor Town Hall, but it will be mining a bit of gold over here to the right. Mortar teams have been added again. Mountain King gonna try and fight back. A Thunderclap would do wonders, taking down multiple units and slowing all of those units again. All right, Mountain Giant, is it going to be able to perhaps finish off any of those, or Mountain King able to finish off any of the Giants? No, it will not be able to. Clarity Potion now on the Mountain Giant there, including a Potion of Mana. As the Town Hall is completed, the peasants are just working and getting additional gold. Back over here to the left, Foggy with a large number of Mountain Giants continuing that pressure and that push. Footmen now trying to back off here. Guard towers are quickly going to get canceled. As you take a look, the Mountain King, gets a Stormbolt onto the Goblin Alchemist, but a quick Staff of Preservation saves him and gets him out of harm's way. Water Elementals only sitting at the level 1 variety, not dealing that much damage, even less damage when you consider the fact that you're fighting up against, well, archers, heroes, and Mountain Giants, all with medium or heroic armor. Footman now still trying to engage here. Mountain Giant versus Mountain King. Mountain King gets a Stormbolt off onto the Alchemist. Alchemist isn't going to get taken down. No Thunderclap to follow it up. Mountain King could try and chase it down. Should need one more. And that is the reason why I say Staff of Preservation should be on a 90-second cooldown. I hope 2019 is going to be a great year for WarCraft 3 as well. I hope it's also a great year for me. I don't believe the two are highly correlated, but if it does end up being highly correlated, well, that is good news all around. Let's take a look at this. More mercenaries being hired up over at the other camp. Workshop not hiring up any additional units. It is 14 gold a second versus 10 gold a second. Not that big of a difference just because of taxes. Foggy continuing to taunt units, trying to pull them back over. Mountain King down to 66 mana. Not going to be able to do all too much as the Archmage, well, it needs to really protect that Mountain King. Mountain King, what is going on here? Mountain Giant still doing far too much damage, and they're simply not getting taken out. All right, if there was a fountain of health, that would be a problem. Check the human base for tier 3. No. Wow. Upgrade to tier 3 underway. But there is not tier 3. I would be absolutely surprised if there was tier 3. Normally, human players stay at tier 2 the entire time. There was no third hero, and there's no signs that he wants to get to tier 3 except for adept training on priest. If he wants inner fire, that actually may work out well. As we're taking a look at Foggy now clearing out the bottom left-hand side of the map. All right, Mountain Giants without bears for rejuvenation, their hit points, their high cap on hit points without any easy way to heal the majority of those hit points is just pretty much a lost feature. Goblin Alchemist now is teleporting all the way back home. Let's see how all that's going to work out here. As you can take a look, teleporting back, 4 Mountain Giants joining up, Thunderclap coming down across multiple units as the Mountain King goes after, or excuse me, Mountain King goes after the Keeper of the Grove. Mountain King still in a little bit of trouble, still has the potion of mana, could really get in some more Thunderclaps. There it goes, gets in more slows as the Mountain Giants are just too slow. Water Elemental could get taken down. There it goes as well, as the natural expansion of Foggy has been taken by Th000. Mountain King versus Mountain Giant. The King is living up to his name right now. Meanwhile, the Archmage still sitting at level 2, unable to do all that much. Free Ancient of Wonders to be taken down right here, right now. Rifleman also joining in on the fight. Point of reference and point to note, there are no weapons upgrades on any of the units. Counter Expo is happening on the bottom left. The Entangled Gold Mine has not been completed as we're taking a look at the Mountain Giants still trying to engage here. Thunderclap across multiple units. Big slow coming across. 59 supply compared to 60 compared to 75 right now. Foggy is mining 7 gold a second right now, but should be getting up to 14 in just a moment. Meanwhile, the Mountain King still having plenty of mana, causing lots of problems by simply slowing down multiple units. Is that going to continue to work out right here, right now, as the Mountain Giants, 5 of them, ready to just push on through? There is another big Thunderclap right there as the mortar teams aren't going to be doing that much damage either. You can see them trying to get in some of that damage, trying to rain down mortars, fire from the sky, but just falling a little bit flat, unable to finish off a single Mountain Giant. Entangled Gold Mine back up to full. Ancient of War down to the south here. 2 bases to 2 bases. And this is the problem for Th000. If Th000 does not realize that he's on equal economic footing, he may overcommit to a fight. And by doing that, he may trade inefficiently and then end up with the loss. He's got to know by now, based on the number of Mountain Giants, that there is that his opponent is above the 50 supply food cap. Adding that, he is going to be taking a look around. Flying machines, it looks as though a siege engine now making its way down to the bottom left, as the mortar teams with their superior range able to just deal a large amount of damage. Ogre Mauler, the only unit that is really able to go toe-to-toe with a Mountain Giant, supply for supply, but you really need to see some knights here as the Stormbolt rains down on Foggy's Alchemist again. We could see a Staff of Preservation. What's more, Archmage still sitting at level 2, still after all this time, as Foggy has been able to keep all of these expensive high supply units alive. Continuing to poke across multiple units here. Any unit that is medium armor and has magic resistance and takes reduced damage from range damage in general, that is just a very powerful unit indeed. Mountain King in a bit of trouble, will be forced to use the Scroll of Town Portal, most likely just teleporting back to the Town Hall in that front position as the mortar teams now head back here. All right, what happened there? Oh, quickly finishing off a footman in order to stay at low upkeep. Bottom left, you see a siege engine trying to take down a tree of life. However, the mountain giant does in fact have siege attack, dealing bonus damage to the fortified armor of that mortar team. Healing spray, Mountain King in the far back, mountain giants in the front line, absorbing so much damage still. And this is exactly what I was talking about. I don't know if a mountain giant has actually fallen as of yet, as the ogre mauler is going to be forced to retreat. All of that piercing damage and range damage is still fully effective against an ogre mauler, unlike the mountain giant. So many mountain giants still alive here. Alchemist keeping all of these units alive consistently, as the Mountain King no longer being able to live up to his name. The giants are starting to overwhelm him. Foggy doing a good job trying to hold off this attack, but there are a number of low hit point mountain giants here. Are we going to see a Stormbolt onto the Keeper of the Grove instead of the Alchemist? Alchemist, with those clarity potions and all of that heal, is the main problem. How do you have a 1600 hit point unit, Blizzard, that is pretty much extra strong against any sort of range unit? That still blows my mind in terms of how strong mountain giants are. You need to deal with almost 3,200 points of damage to a mountain giant in order to take it out if you're doing any sort of range unit. And that's really the only easy way to take down something that has that many hit points. All right, mountain giant about to just continue to push its way through. Thunderclap making its way down. Knight finally joining in on the fight. Inner fire will definitely help, as I don't believe I see any dryads as of yet. Detonation, Mountain King sitting at level 5. Level 3 Stormbolt will be enough, or perhaps enough to try and tip things in favor. Knight. One Knight is not going to be enough to try to fight back against this army. As you can see, the mountain giants know that the Knight is the biggest threat and are quickly trying to target it down and doing a good amount of damage still. Knight already down to 169 hit points. Orb of Venom causing problems, as well as the mortar teams are lobbying next. Morth, check Expo, please. Why? Expo is still there, but towers are now being constructed up. Mountain Giants, 5 Mountain Giants doing the push after all of those units. Guard towers, Arcane Tower right in position. 77 supply compared to 50. Foggy is still doing a great job, and I guess, you know, you want to see these towers all being constructed. Th000 sitting at level 3, level 2 Brilliance Aura over level 2 Water Elementals. Very strong choice, considering that the Mountain King has perpetually been low on mana. Add in the fact that the Forest Troll, Shadow Priest, and Priest, Forest Troll, Shadow Priest, and Priest have been casting a large number of spells between Inner Fire, Dispel Magic, and Abolish Magic, and that is key. All right, let's take a look back down across over here as the Tree of Eternity now picking up feet to join in on the fight. You're not being rude, you're asking a simple question. Back down over here to the bottom left, Ents joining in on the fight here as the Mountain Giant, well, trying to go after these Scout Towers and Guard Towers while they're being upgraded. Tree of Eternity has a large amount of hit points as well, but at least it takes full damage from all of these range units, even bonus damage from the Forest Troll, or excuse me, from those Priests. Taunt still coming across. Foggy continuing to push with all of these units. Mountain King sitting at level 5, and still this fight is pretty much unending. Let's take a look. More peasants and militia being called over. Mountain Giant getting poked down here. Meanwhile, I believe we may finally see the death of a Mountain Giant after so long. Alchemist unable to heal these units any longer. As you can take a look, Alchemist really needs to start, drinking some mana and doing a little bit of healing spray to keep all of these units alive. Are we going to see a Thunderclap? Thunderclap should be coming in right on the money, as well. The first Mountain Giant doesn't even fall, and Th000 gets the victory. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.